All right, so these are going to be different problems, but still we're going to be factoring quadratic trinomials. Let's take a look at problem number 1. Pay attention to the signs of this problem. Let me get my black pen really quick. So remember, we're figuring out what multiplies to the C but adds to the B. Notice that I'm going to be very specific with my signs. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 30 and add together to form negative 13. So previously, on the first day of this lesson, we did positive combinations. Now, let's think common sense about this. So I'm going to cover up the right column just so we don't get confused. So how do I multiply to get a positive? Well, in this case, I can multiply two positives. A positive times a positive is still going to be a positive 30. Or I can multiply two negatives. A negative times a negative is still a positive. So let's compare multiplying to a positive and adding to a negative. Well, if I have positive plus positive, that's going to make more positive. However, if I add two negatives together, that's going to create more negative. So this combination that multiplies to a positive and adds to a negative, hint for the rest of the day, is going to be a negative combination. So let's start with the obvious choice. Let's go with -1 and -30. Okay? -1 times -30 is positive 30, but -1 plus -30 is going to give me -31. I know it looks like -13, but it's not what we're looking for. So let's do divide by 2. So remember, the combination is going to be negative and negative. Can I do divide by 2 for 30? Yeah. 30 divided by -2 is -15. -2 times -15 is positive 30. And if I add those together, -2 plus -15 is -17. It's not what I wanted, but I'm getting there. Can I do 30 divided by -3? Yeah. -3 times -10 is positive 30. But what's -3 plus -10? We have a winner. So I'm going to check that off because I won. And now, what two numbers satisfy that requirement? -3 and -10. But the directions are asking factor this quadratic trinomial. Specifically, x minus 3, x minus 10. And you can check your work by foiling it out yourself. Let me get a pencil. Because if I foiled this out, I'm going to draw it lightly so I can erase it. X times x is x squared. X times -10 is -10x. 3 times x is -3x. And -3 times -10 is going to be positive 30. So if I combine the like terms in the middle, I'm going to get x squared minus 13x plus 30. I'm back to where I started. Okay, so you can check your work with all of them if you'd like. In this case, what is problem number 2 asking me? Problem number 2 is asking what two numbers multiply to positive 8 but add to -9. Once again, a negative times a negative is a positive, and two negatives added together will form more negative. So in this case, let's start with the obvious combination. -1, -8. -1 times -8 is positive 8. What's -1 plus -8? It's going to be -9. Wait, it worked on the first try? We don't even need to try -2 and -4? Well, that's awesome. So if -1 and -8 satisfies that requirement, I'm going to factor this into x minus 1, x minus 8. We win. Okay. See if you can do number 3 on your own. Hint. What two numbers multiply to positive 35 and add to negative 12? Okay. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 35 and add to negative 12. So it has to be a negative-negative combination. Negative 1 and negative 35. Negative 1 times negative 35 is positive 35, but if I add these two together, I'm going to get negative 36. Well, can I do 35 divided by 2? So I'm going to get my calculator out. 35 divided by 2. Nope, decimal. 35 divided by 3. Another decimal. 35 divided by 4. Another decimal. 35 divided by 5. 7. So remember, it's a negative-negative combination. So I'm going to try negative 5 and negative 7. Negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35. Negative 5 plus negative 7 is negative 12. Oh, we win. So, if negative 5, negative 7 is the winning combination, how does this factor? X minus 5, x minus 7. Or you could write this as x minus 7 times x minus 5. Okay? See if you can do number 4 independently. 4 and 5 if you really want to. Okay. What am I looking for in problem number 4? Right, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 24 and add to negative 14. So it has to be a negative-negative combination. Okay, so once again, I'm going to start with what I know. Negative 1 and negative 24. Negative 1 times negative 24 is positive 24, but negative 1 plus negative 24 is negative 25. That's not what I want. Well, can I do 24 divided by 2? Yes. In fact, I know it's negative-negative, so I'm going to do negative 2 times negative 12, because negative 2 times negative 12 is positive 24. But what's negative 2 plus negative 12? It's negative 14. We win. So if that's the winning combination, what do I factor x squared minus 14x plus 24 into? X minus 2, x minus 12. Sorry about the smudge right there with the ink. But remember, another thing is, I want parentheses. Please do not forget about the parentheses when you're foiling it out, or factoring it out, sorry. All right, x squared minus 15x plus 44. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 44 and add to negative 15. Once again, we've got a negative-negative combination. So I'm going to go negative 1, negative 44. That's not going to work, even though negative 1 times negative 44 is positive 44. They add together to form negative 45. What if I divide by 2? Can I divide by 2? Yeah. So I get negative 2 times negative 22. Negative 2 times negative 22 is positive 44. But what do they add together to form? Negative 24. Can I do 44 divided by 3? No. Can I do 44 divided by 4? Yes. So that'd be negative 4 times negative 11. Negative 4 times negative 11 is positive 44, but negative 4 plus negative 11 is negative 15. Ah, we win. So we check that off. So this whole thing factors into some sort of winning combination with -4 and -11. X minus 4, x minus 11, or if you want to write this as x minus 11 times x minus 4, be my guest. But the key is to fail until you succeed. It's okay to fail as long as you keep pursuing success. I love this because it's a perfect analogy for life. Okay. 5 more problems and we'll call it a day. See if you can do, oh, this is a challenge one. See, I didn't even know this because oof. X squared minus 23x plus 120. Okay, so let's look at this table. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 120, but add together to form negative 23. I'm actually going to need a pencil because even I don't know that combination off the top of my head. Fail until you will succeed. Well, just to get my brain stimulated, I'm going to do -1 and negative 120. So that's negative 121 if I add those together. What if I divide by 2? Yeah. -2, -60. Okay. -2 plus -60 is going to be -62. You notice that we took a huge jump towards -23. We're not there yet, but we will be, and that's the key. Can I divide by 3? Yeah. 120 divided by -3 is going to get me -40. Those two add together to form -43, closer to -23. -4, -30, and that's going to get me added together to form -34. Not happy. -5. Do I even have enough room in my table? Oh man. Let's try 120 divided by 5. That's going to get me 24. So -5 times -24. -5 plus -24 is going to be -29. All right. Let me try, well, -6. -6 times -20. They multiply to 120, but they add together to form -26. Can I do 120 divided by 7? Decimal, okay. Can I do 120 divided by 8? Oh, not 9, 8. 15, okay. So -8, -15, they multiply to 120, but they add together. Let me just double check really quick. -8 plus -15 is -23. We win. Huzzah. So we're going to pick this team because we win with this team. Therefore, the winning combination is -8, -15. So this is x minus 8, x minus 15. Okay. Whew, that was a tough one. See, even I need to make the table. Make that table and you will fail, succeed. I didn't count appropriately, but you know what I mean. It took 6 opportunities to fail until I got the 7th attempt to be a success. All right, let's take a look at number 7. X squared minus 37x plus 70. Let's make that table. Well, we're looking for the combination that multiplies to 70, but adds to -37. So it has to be a negative combination. Let's try -1, -70. -1 times -70 is +70. but negative 1 plus negative 70 is negative 71. They add together. That doesn't work. Let me try 70 divided by negative 2. Is that okay with you? Negative 2 times negative 35. Negative 2 times negative 35 is positive 70, but negative 2 plus negative 35 is negative 37. We win again. So that checks off. So if that's the winning team, negative 2, negative 35, can we factor these? Yeah, x minus 2, x minus 35. 3 more to go. X squared minus 14x plus 45. I'm starting to get a little bit exhilarated. Like, these are like little puzzles to me. Yeah, so what numbers multiply to positive 45 and add to negative 14? Okay. By the way, I know that I put the problems in blue and I put the tables in blue. The table won't be given to you on the test. You have to make your own table. So it has to be a negative-negative combination. Negative 1, negative 45. Negative 1 times negative 45 is positive 45, but negative 1 plus negative 45 is negative 46. Can I do 45 divided by 2? 45 divided by 2. No. Can I do 45 divided by 3? Yeah. So let's try negative 3, negative 15. Well, negative 3 times negative 15 is positive 45, but negative 3 plus negative 15 is negative 18. Okay, well, we're closer to negative 14 at least. Can I do 45 divided by 4? No, decimal. Can I do 45 divided by 5? Okay, 5 and 9. So let's try negative 5, negative 9. Negative 5 times negative 9 is positive 45, but negative 5 times negative 9, negative 5 plus negative 9 is going to be negative 14. Oh, we win. So that's the winning team. So how does this factor? You could do, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Let's just because. I could do x minus 9 times x minus 5. I just wanted to give it a little bit of different vibe. But you could have done x minus 5 times x minus 9. Okay. Number 9, x squared minus 10x plus 25. What am I looking for in this? I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to positive 25 and add to negative 10. Let's try the obvious. Negative 1, negative 25. Negative 1 plus negative 25 is negative 26. So that doesn't work. I can't divide by 2. That's going to be a decimal. 25 divided by 3 is going to be a decimal. 25 divided by 4 is going to be decimal. Let's try 25 divided by 5. That's also 5. So let's try negative 5 times negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25, but negative 5 plus negative 5 is negative 10. We win yet again. So that's going to be x minus 5 times x minus 5. And I'm okay with this format. Or x minus 5 quantity squared. Okay. Last problem of the day, and I made it a challenge just to see if you guys will make that table. X squared minus 27x plus 180. So make that table, because I guarantee you guys don't know what multiplies to positive 180 and adds to negative 27 in 3 seconds. make that table. Pause the video and make that table. Complete it. Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. -1, -180, -181. -2, -90. They add together to form -92. -3, -60. Look how much closer we're getting. -63. -4, -45. I don't know 180 divided by 5 off the top of my head. I know it goes in there because it ends in a 0. 36. So -5, -36. Look how much closer we're getting. -6, -30. I'm getting tired. But you know what? It's all worth it. All right. 180 divided by 7. 25 point blah, 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 blah. That's a decimal. I don't want that. 180 divided by 8. 22.5 is a decimal, so forget about it. 180 divided by 9. I think it's 20. Yeah, 9 times 20. So -9 times -20. Ooh, look how close we're getting. We're that close to -27. So let's try 180 divided by 10, 18. -10, oh, -18. Look how much closer we got. We got to -28. We want -27. So it's somewhere between 11 and 17. But the end is almost here. 180 divided by 11. 180 divided by 12. 15. Let's try -12, -15. -12 plus -15 is, we win, -27. So, without further ado, we found our winning team. X minus 12 times X minus 15. Or X minus 15 times X minus 12, whichever is your pleasure. Whew. See? It's exhausting, but it's worth it. Okay, so just to give a recap, I want you guys to get a head start for the next lesson. So there's technically five distinct outcomes, and we're gonna fill out all the first 4 tomorrow. But to get you a head start, please fill out 1 and 2 so that we can go over this tomorrow. So Matt's amazing cheat codes for factoring quadratic trinomials, we'll go over the first 2 at the start of the lesson tomorrow. Have a great day.